The same question is just giving him not what I didn't have, but educating him on things I didn't have on how he can get them. Right. Me not having a four-wheeler, I don't care if he has a four-wheeler. Right. I need to get him to understand some other things in life that are more important. And then those things will come later on. The material things will come way later on. But that's something I'm really, really trying to get better at. Is making that not so much financial. I understand debt, I understand credit, but the future, the passing it down, and putting the family on, and like you said, maybe if it's my mom has the credit line, but I have the business, we all team up as one. Right. I think sometimes people shy away from that.
What's going on, everybody? It's another episode of Talk That Talk podcast. I am your host, Gaylon Hughes Jr., better known as your credit expert, also known as the president and co-owner of 3E Management Solutions. And today I got one of my childhood friends, man. I've been laughing since I've been out here talking to him. One of the coaches, assistant coach of St. John's football varsity team. Also one of the trainers and owner, right, of Elite Athletics Academy. One of them. And then last but not least, man, somebody who I've been looking at as one of the, I was gonna get to it further later on, but one of the best wide receivers out of Toledo, Ohio, as far as this football thing, man. I got my man Devon Price here, my brother.
Thank you for having me, brother.
Yes, of course.
Love what you're doing.
Yes,
around
man,
here,
I appreciate that, man. It's been a long time, man. We had to reschedule like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah,
man. You a busy dude.
Sometimes the kids get involved. Sometimes
they love to throw the family out there. This boy, man. That brings me to my first topic. 3 kids that you have, man. And it seems like you are very well balanced with them. One of the biggest things that I like about you, bro, is you got a good mixture of being the fun dad, being the structural dad, and then still being the husband all in one. And you display them well on social media. I think a lot of people, what they can take from you is being on social media is like a catch-22. Right. You can be personal and be yourself, funny as hell, and do whatever you want to do. But at the same time, you're an assistant coach at St. John's. You're still a father. You're still a husband. So you got to orchestrate yourself and present yourself in the right way. I was going to ask, what keeps you going is not only as a father, but someone who is eager to learn how to be a better father as well.
Honestly, it's just getting better every day. Nobody's a perfect parent in parenting. You live and learn. I was a young parent, so I've had to ask a lot of questions. I had my first kid at 20.
Right.
So using them as not as I learn from them.
Right.
And then I want to educate them in ways that I may have not been educated.
Right.
So going hard every day, no matter what it is, making sure they're taken care of and that we got a good family, good structure, you know what I'm saying, good stability. I've seen some great role models that were coaches, and that's what helped me the most.
Cool. So speak on what type of coaches.
First and foremost, I would say from here locally, you got Wayne Galladay. He's been great in this city. A great dad, great coach. Eddie Norris, he has impacted a lot of people. Great dad. You know, he's also has a lot of things going on as he works downtown and things like that. So he has to do the same thing as a fun dad, structured dad, but then take care of his social media to make sure he's not getting fired. Same way as a lot of other dads. My college coach, Dean Paul, very, very, very great family guy. But college is a lot of coaching and recruiting and film and work.
Oh my God! But
his kids was there all the time.
Right.
My son Sir was on the field with us all the time.
What's some situation that you ran into while training him that you thought, this got me feeling a little cringy?
For me personally, I just don't want to push my kids to make them think that's their only path. I want them to understand there's way more to life than just a ball.
Just sports in general.
Sports in general.
Right.
Training him though, I want him to understand he's a kid.
Right.
I don't want to harp on his back and he's 8 years old. When he plays, I just want to be a dad.
Right.
Like I honestly, if it's a perfect world for me, I don't have to coach my son. If he's in the right hands, I'll just sit back, just cheer him on, help him out when he needs it. But learning that I don't have to be down on him. Right. To make him push harder. If he wants it, he'll show me. Right. And we just go from there.
And that's something I don't even got on the paper, but a problem is sometimes you hear that crazy parent from the stands like, "Sir, why aren't you doing this? Or why you ain't catch that ball or whatever the case may be?" Was it any point in time where you see him playing and you had one of the moments and you just it was for the greater good of him, but at the same time it just blurted out because you're just being a sound father, I guess you could say.
So I coached him in flag football.
Right.
I yelled at him one time because he just didn't do his job.
Right.
But I mean, I think I would yell at any kid for not doing their job.
No, for sure.
It wasn't more of a dad thing. Right now, the one time I got on my son, got him on, it was because he did about 17 juke moves. And it just didn't make sense.
That was me.
Yeah, I was that kid too. That kid too.
That's me, bro.
So I just wanted him to get. He could have scored 5 times already, but
man, bro, I wanted to be Barry Sanders so bad, bro. Like I literally would cross the field 4 or 5 times and only get 3 yards on the play. That was me.
And you got to think about it right now. He got the YouTube thing where all he sees. So YouTube is real big. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So he thinks making all these moves look good. But he only gained 3 yards. We could have been ran vertical a long time ago. So I jumped on him one time about that.
I'm weak.
But that's about it.
I'm weak. No, I had Coach E, man. Shout out to Coach E. I played for OSD, bro. I never forget. My first time playing running back, and I got we played Gunkel. Remember they had the purple and gray. Listen, it was like a 42 dive, man, and it was a fake left to the fullback, handoff to me on the right hand side. Bro, I literally went 80 yards. I probably took 3 or 4 people, went 80 yards, got to the 5-yard line and fumbled. What happened? Coach E pulled me, said, "You remember all them juke moves that you did without the play? Yep. Only thing you had to do was get to the end zone, and you sitting out here making juke moves."
And you was probably tired, fumbled the ball.
Oh my God, had the ball all the way out here, stripped me easily. Yep, easily. Yeah, that's hilarious. But that's speaking on social media, you talking about YouTube, with how real social media and blunt this world is, as far as how much access kids have to, iPads or technology in general. Yeah. It's one of the things where technology is now the new babysitter. Yeah. In a way.
Yeah, for facts.
Yeah, it's a pro and con to it. But I'll say, I know as you having a wife and having somebody you've been with for so long, I'm sure y'all done had conversations about like, man, we can't give him this tablet or we can't give him this phone because he's doing too much of it.
Yep.
What were some situations where Sir may came across some or your daughter came across anything to where you're like, we know we can't do that anymore, and what's some better ways that you could parent around that type of situation?
I think we haven't really had a situation. But from time to time, like most kids, you just got it to where you allow your child to play with whatever device, but now they're on there for hours and hours.
Right.
For us, Sir says it all the time, I never watch TV at your house. So we're just on the go. And I go to work, I got practice, or I'm training, whatever it may be. Right. So personally in our household, let's say in a week, he might get a couple hours of in a whole week of really technology.
Which is great, especially in this day and age.
But then, there's sometimes on the weekend where he might just get it for some hours, but we really ain't doing too much.
Right.
It's the balance.
Right.
But it's also just making sure, the biggest thing I really do is monitor what he's watching.
Right.
So I'll go on there and check.
In itself, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. I go back and check the history or do all of those types of or watch videos with him so I can see what he's really watching. Right. Or what messages that video might be sending that he might not know.
Right.
And just trying to make sure what he do watch or plays with or whatever it may be, something positive and age appropriate. And that's really the biggest things that we talk about amongst like our household is making sure it's limited time.
Yep.
In the proper videos.
Right. And child friendly, man.
Friendly.
But I'll be honest with you, man, it's so many things that I watch with my stepson Tony. It'll go, it's like that rabbit hole, or not rabbit hole, but that black hole where you going down that black hole, you watching 3 videos, and then that 4th one, it go crazy. Yep. Man, I remember one time I was watching something with my son. It's a YouTube channel called Jelly. I can't even give you the proper, I guess, theme that he has behind his page, but it's something where they playing what is it? It's not Warzones, something about Zone. But long story short, they play games online. He's like commentating on it. And then once he gets to a certain field or a certain board, it'll go into the next video. Now, one time I went into the bathroom and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just leave him alone. I'm going to do my work. Man, I go downstairs and I just hear shit. You better go down the fucking street. Fuck this dude. I go upstairs. What are you watching? He like, I don't know, man. I didn't put on this video. What is this, man? But I was saying that to say like it's crazy, like how in the click of a button, man, like in literally 0.5 seconds, it goes to something crazy.
So different.
Yeah. So as I would say to the audience, it's a difficult task for not only you to be able to be a parent, but also have to balance out your work life while you're doing stuff on your own, trying to get better, and you trying to look over at your children too. Yep. It's a hell of a balance.
It's the balance that happens when you create the child.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So Elite Athletics Academy, man.
Yes, sir.
For the people that don't know what that is, please explain what it is and how you are a part of it.
It's a training business for all sports, male or female. So we've had softball players, we've had baseball players. The biggest group of people we get is football players.
That's what I was going to ask you. So, not to cut you off, I didn't know it was more than just football.
Yeah, so we've had college basketball players come in and train. We've had high school basketball players. We've had a handful of softball players, soccer players. So what we do is not really sport specific. It can be if you ask for that, and we'll give you, a receiver drill, but it may not be. Right. But what we do is more of like speed, explosion, agility, lateral quickness, core, all of those things that really translate to any sport.
So you guys are more working on the body and the skill versus the sport itself.
Yeah, we're not in there lifting weights or nothing like that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's all movement training. Gotcha. Everything we're doing is movement training.
Gotcha.
So we've had guys that 6'4", 300 pounds that play at UT. He's going to be doing the same drill as myself, but it's going to give him another competitive advantage
and another tier to where he can tap into.
And that's what we're trying to get to.
Right.
It's attention to detail is a lot. Right. What we do. So our groups are smaller. There's not 35 people in there.
Yeah.
What we call a perfect session is less than 12. So we try to get it to where we're looking at you with your hip, your knees, your ankles. We train. Shout out to Deon Thompson. We use his gym from time to time, especially in the winter. And we go no socks, no shoes.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're training.
What's the reasoning behind that?
We're training on his mats. He teaches jiu-jitsu.
Right. Yeah. I can never get that word right. Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu. Yeah. If you ever see him, he's gonna invite you to come to the mats.
Yeah.
I always turn him down.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
But so we go no socks, no shoes, just barefoot on a mat. And what it does, it strengthens the toes, ankles, and knees. If you strengthen those things, you minimize, ankle sprains, tearing your ACL, whatever it may be. Gotcha. Trying to strengthen everything that we can. Resistance, we use resistance bands. Sometimes we'll use weights, but we're using weights for movement, not just to be in there throwing up heavy weight.
Right.
But overall, it's been good. We've been doing it now 2014 or 15.
Oh, so it's been a good solid 5 to 6 years.
So I interned with him.
Yeah.
The owner of the company is Brandon Carter.
Okay.
Start guy, local. Jaleel Carter is also one of them who started it. And then I came on, interned, and I just stayed around, helping them out, always being around, using those guys as mentors when I was playing the game. Obviously, Jaleel was chasing the same dream I was. Right. So when I was trying to go to the NFL, he was playing in the CFL. He just got done playing in the NFL. So learning from those guys and just standing around, learning the techniques. And then when I went and trained for my pro day in Dallas, Texas, that's where I learned the next level of training. In the small things. We work side by side with Nike. So I would be training here, but then in this little back office would be like 17 cameras, and there'd be like 3 Nike guys just back there looking at everything we do.
Now, was it exposing different products that they were having, or was it more like just literally just training? Okay,
both. So sometimes you may get a product and you're asked to try it out.
Right.
But mostly they're there to help you become a better you.
Right.
Every person has different movements, but they're pulling them up and looking at your angles and where you need to be. It was next level training.
I can only imagine.
That helped me a lot with Elite Athletics because it allowed me to take what they teach, future Hall of Famers or superstars or whatever it may be. I can now give that to this generation of kids,
right? To
the high schoolers. So if I can pass it down to a high schooler or an 8th grader or whatever it may be, what those guys are doing at the elite level, it's gonna make your game way better.
And then on top of that, the extended is, especially specific as an area is Toledo, who, I mean,
we don't really have that type of
the type of resources.
Yeah, and there's a lot of trainers in Toledo, whether it may be for strength or speed or agility. I don't knock any trainer. I just think what we do is much different than most guys.
Right.
What we try to bring is definitely something that nobody around here is really teaching. Right. And that's what our strength is.
Yeah. And I hope I ain't offend nobody, but I was basically saying that as far as the resources that's in Toledo, they's very limited to at that level. Right. Especially if something like, I mean, you going to train at a Nike shoe. Right. Ain't too many people that's doing that. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with what you're saying. Now, a key conversation that I think that I've always wanted to have with somebody that's experienced the national level versus somebody who's been in the Toledo or local level is how parents look at kids or how parents overtrain their kids. I think in high school I experienced a lot where, I think it's even worse now, how parents can let their ego and pride get in the way of letting their kids, like you said, just be kids, versus I want to have my kid be the trophy kid of my success that I didn't get to. Yeah. Now I had to make sure that they gonna be the next Julio Jones or whatever the case may be. Two-part breakdown on that question. One, I think you already answered with Sir, so I think I'm not even gonna go there. But the second part is, what are some experiences that you've seen in your personal training and coaching for St. John's that parents can get a little bit too obsessive with the, I guess, ability of their child?
I just think, honestly, as parents, we have to just first make sure our kids is having fun. Do our kids even want to be there?
I think sometimes, man, they get lost. Yeah, like it's a loss.
It's a loss, but as some parents, like what you just said, they're on you so much, or they want you to be the trophy kid, or they want you to live the same life that they wanted to live. That takes away the love of the game for that child, regardless of the sport. Right. Sometimes, and then at a certain level, even for myself, like you said, I was able to accomplish some things, but there's gonna be some time where I'm gonna take a step back and let that next person with the next knowledge teach my kids how to play the game. Right. And I think if parents trust in coaches more, whatever school they send them to, yes, sir, it will eliminate so many issues. A big friction is if I'm coaching you, and then you go home and your dad tells you to do everything opposite of what I told you, you're now confused. You want to make your household happy, but you want to make your coach happy. Right. It happens every year. It'll probably happen for the rest of life, unfortunately. I don't personally know what will make that change other than just believing in your coaches staff that you put your child to play for. Then we also have the dads that only want to coach because their kid is there.
Which is... Go ahead.
It just brings more friction. It brings more drama. It brings more issues to that team. Right. I personally think there's nothing wrong with a dad is being a dad and just going up in the stands and just rooting for his kid. Being there for support is bigger than you, the coach, or you yelling at the kid all day. Exactly. And it's really just going to take away the love of the game. Man. You only play the game because you liked it and loved it as a kid. Right. The more I like it and love it and I want to chase and accomplish my dreams, I'll do it on my time, not so much for you. Because at some point, I'm going to stop liking it based on what my dad or mom may like. Right. Just patience, man. Yes. Trust in the process, doing your research. Right. You eliminate a lot of issues if you do your research on that school, on that coaching staff. Right. Everybody can't handle a coach that's going to yell all day. Yeah. But some schools only yell all day. Yeah. So if I do the research, I don't have to worry about that issue at all. Right. Parents, especially with social media and technology and all the research we can do, us as people have to stop being lazy. Just put the work in.
Everybody has a certain extent of the resources that everyone else has. Yes. To a certain point.
Especially right now. Yeah. Because money comes into play at some point for life. Of course. But right now, technology, there's so much technology and ways to do research that doesn't really matter. Your research is free. Right. Just do the research and then worry about the rest later on.
Let alone having other internet-based search engines that can you literally type a word and it's going to guide you to a certain topic.
And then the public libraries are giving kids free access and things like that all the time. Exactly. It's just us as parents, young parents, older parents, we have to just get better at being a parent and letting the kid choose his path.
Yeah.
If my son walk up and say he want to play chess or play the guitar, that's what we gonna do. We're not gonna worry about the football no more.
Right.
And that was the question. Yeah. Parents for so long only want your kid to do that one thing.
Right.
And a lot of those kids are good early, really good.
100%. I know.
And then at some point they fall off.
And this is a key thing that I thought about when you just said that it's a quote in a Big Sean song. I think it's called the album before the first. I Decided in the intro that he said, and it's basically like a parent like working in a factory, and he's basically like, I'm not supposed to be here. Like, this ain't supposed to be my job, man. Right. And then he ended up getting I think he either crashed a car or get hit by a car, whatever the case may be. But I tie that into a lot of athletes that I saw growing up was the parents may be working in a factory, or the parents might be a teacher. It may not be the best financial career. However, their kid is so goddamn talented in sports that he can possibly go to the league. But what I see is that person may not go to the league, and then now the parents just go back to their regular life. Now it's a conversation that got to be had, because now the parents is looking at the kid like, you ain't make it. I sacrificed everything for you. Not only did I sacrifice everything for you, but I put my career on hold just to do all that. But really, the parents should have been setting up their career from the start.
And if we do better, like we probably were all taught, if we just wait and have kids when we married, you don't have to worry about so much.
Not only where you have kids, but just educate yourself. Like educate. Educate is so key,
educate.
It's so key.
I think as parents, we have to sacrifice.
Yeah.
I think every parent understands that.
Yeah, right.
But don't allow the sacrifice to be, you have to make it for us.
Right. That's it.
And if you do make it, it doesn't have to be with a ball.
Right.
You can go be a lawyer.
Yeah.
Go be the president. Go be something else. There's so
so
many other jobs in this world.
Right.
That doesn't have to involve a ball for the family to make it.
Right.
You know what you're doing right now with yourself. You're putting people on in your family.
Yeah.
You ain't got a ball in your hand right now.
Right. 100%.
But y'all can go be well above others.
Yeah.
Just with what you're doing right now.
100%.
But your family was educated.
Yeah.
They taught you a different path. You understand a different path. I think we all have to get there at some point, because even let's just say you got the best kid,
right?
Number one kid in the country.
Yeah.
At some time, the football game's gonna end. Yeah. Basketball is gonna end.
Yeah.
What's next?
And having that plan B in place to know, okay, even if I am going to succeed at this, what's another thing? What am I gonna do? What's next? Yep. And I mean, that can go into why people, athletes go broke and all. Man, that's a whole nother conversation. I'm not gonna
whole other topic.
We'd be here for 4 hours. I'm not gonna do that. You being the assistant coach at St. John's, I didn't know that you was coaching for that long. So how many years has it been?
This is my 4th year at St. John's.
Yeah, so this is the crazy part. People know I say this all the time. Social media is literally how I grasp all my content to interview people. I don't text you or text a guest. I never be like, hey man, what happened at this? I just get whatever I see on there, I put it on here. And like we was doing behind the scenes, like, no, Robert really got 3 kids, or no, I usually I do that. I always like to do it on camera because it just show the thoroughness and the realness of like I'm just literally getting my information and then just bringing it onto the air. So the reason why I mention that is I think a lot of people underestimate how difficult coaching is. Not even just from the actual coach, but what goes on behind the scenes. Yeah. So from, remembering play calls, studying playbooks of other teams, studying playbooks for your own players, being a psychiatrist, in the locker room, making sure your teammates motivated, all them type of things. What are some things that you put in place for yourself before you even get to the locker room or you get to the practice field to make sure that you are well equipped to lead any type of team, especially a St. John's high school team, which is low key a good caliber team?
Honestly, I just think you got to be prepared. Be knowledgeable and not afraid to learn. You can't, as a coach, you're gonna make a mistake.
Right.
I may call the bad call.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have made a sub. There's a thing as coaches, you make mistakes and it just happens, part of life.
Right.
The biggest thing I try to do is be honest. I don't want to lie to a kid.
Yep.
I just want to tell them the truth. You work hard, there you go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But as far as being ready, you gotta be prepared, organized, and knowledgeable. So I need to be prepared and understanding what the other team may do.
Right.
I need to be knowledgeable on what maybe you can do or can't do. 4 years in, I've had to ask a lot of questions.
To whom? To the kids, to the coaches, or who?
I ask questions to anybody and everybody. Almost.
Just soaking up game, period.
I think that's how you get better.
100%.
I think the game is changing, and it does over time. I think kids are learning different also. So that's a different teaching point. So I've learned over time there's 3 teaching tools. You got your in the classroom. So now I'm giving it to you, giving you basically notes. I'm the teacher. I'm putting it up on the board. I'm drawing the plays or whatever. Or I'm showing you film.
Right.
And it's the walkthrough. The walkthrough is just nice and slow on what we may be going over.
Or what type of situations you might get into. A
walkthrough is similar to mental reps.
Right.
Then we got your actual reps. You give a kid in one day 3 different ways to learn, and hopefully I can target every kid on the team.
Right.
So maybe this kid doesn't learn on the board. That's fine. You might get it in the walkthrough, or you'll get it on the field.
Right.
Understanding the teaching tools. Every kid is different. Every week is different. Every day is different.
Right.
But being calm and consistent, and never really just allowing the moment to get too big for you. So a great thing or a great time I can say is last year we were beating Central. We were your school actually, Central. Great high school football
team. Sounds like CCHS, man.
Oh yeah, yes, whatever. Yes, let's go, St. John's.
Hey man, come on, man. Don't get on here and get talking crazy, man. Don't get.
But honestly, though, like you look at a game like that, I want to say honestly, they were the favorite by like 25 points.
So what? Let me cut you. Johnson, was he on that team last year?
Last year.
Nope. And that was the senior year, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to make sure. Okay.
So
I saw that.
So I mean, they beat us. I want to say by 5, but there was moments in the game where it was just going back and forth. But you can't allow yourself to say I was not the favorite,
right? And
just take the whooping.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? But I also can't get happy that I'm winning in the second quarter.
Right.
I gotta be consistent, stay calm, and just continue with the game plan. And it's the same. I want to teach the kids the same way.
Right.
I want them to be calm, understand the plays, and just play your game.
Yeah.
We'll worry about the results later.
Right.
That's the biggest thing I try to do as a coach is give them 3 teaching tools. Give myself, make sure I'm prepared, whether I need to learn or ask questions. Sometimes I just ask a kid a question like, "Hey man, what's wrong?"
Because you can learn a lot from a kid, especially in that specific age bracket.
Exactly.
Yeah, for real.
And I mean, they got a lot going on. I don't know what that kid may have went through yesterday or today.
Yep.
Maybe he can't give me a post route because he's taking care of his little brother.
Right.
And so it's just asking questions. Hey, how you doing today, man? That can go a long way.
Man.
Just asking the kid how you doing.
Seriously.
Hey, I believe in you.
Yep.
You know, sometimes some kids don't hear that.
Right.
So it's just good to show love, be genuine, be honest, and give them your all. If they see you going hard, they gonna go hard.
9 times out of 10, they gonna follow.
They
suit.
gonna go hard.
Yeah, for sure.
They might fall back for a little bit and play tough. But eventually, as you stay consistent, they'll buy in.
That's just the ego and the stubbornness behind a child.
And everybody does that.
Yep,
especially ones that was grown up and they might have been the best in their league or whatever. So it gets fun. I like it. I love it. But it still has its challenges.
For sure.
Yeah, coaches has its challenges.
Some pros and cons. I wanted you to touch on what you just said about Sir and how you view kids going to, I think you said, public school first and then getting introduced to Catholic school and high school and how that can affect kids.
Personally, I think this is my opinion. I think if a kid is, let's just call it well-rounded, earlier in life,
right,
it will prepare him later. Yeah. So, for instance, you were talking about Sir, and if Sir is the man, but if I enroll Sir at Maumee Valley or St. Francis or any Perrysburg, whatever it may be outside of a Toledo public education, he may not be prepared.
Right.
Personally, I think that the Catholic school or a better higher education than maybe the current climate of TPS,
right,
will then prepare your child for the future, regardless of what school they may go to.
Right.
I think the quote unquote investment of a Catholic school earlier, and then if you send them to a high school or public school later on, obviously it's free. Right. But then obviously they're ready to then learn whatever it is. So
it's a quote I just talked about when you literally said free. You get, as my dad said, you get what you pay for.
You get what you pay for.
Unfortunately, in that sense, right. Like it's one of the worst things to even say.
We're on the same topic. It's the same thing as St. John's. It costs to go there.
Right.
But like, you can look at the statistics. If you pay to go here, you won't pay to go to college.
Right.
College is a debt.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If I say I'm gonna go to Rogers, Bowers, or whatever it may be, and then academically I'm not in tune, I'm gonna lose scholarships before I even touch a ball.
Right.
Just off my grades
alone. Yeah.
So a lot of kids, Central, there's a lot of different schools. You can get there's a lot of scholarship money out here for grades,
of course,
not just athletics.
Yeah.
And I just think that's what is more pushed in Catholic schools, and I think that's what, honestly, as inner city, as African Americans, we need to see that.
Right.
We need to see that side of, hey, there's more scholarship money, out there than it is just this football money.
Because especially being a black man, it's not easy, but we are more. I don't even know the word, but basically, statistically, from NFL to NBA, we are more. You can see a lot of more African Americans are blessed. Athletically, yes. And as a human, I want to say the number for the NFL is 77%.
So above 70, let's just say above 70% is the NFL.
So with that being said,
right?
With that being said, I feel like we get so caught up on what the not only the media but what parents and society puts on us. But I think where we were just talking about this earlier about having that plan B. If you know how many people or kids, especially in our age groups, how many kids can from the start be taught, hey, get the academics first. Yeah. You already athletic. That's just the icing on the cake.
That's icing on the cake.
So it bothers me sometimes. I think about so many people. I would never name them on a podcast, but it's a lot of athletes who I think about, like, man, I grew up with him, and senior year he got caught up in the case because he could have been in a study group or whatever the case may be. It's it's a lot of unfortunate situations.
I think sometimes parents and they have the right, they have the, they feel that their kid is not equipped or ready to then go to that school. But if we do it earlier, if it works for you, it may not work for everybody.
Right.
Personally, I feel like that's a path that can work for my household.
Yeah.
For the next person, it may not.
Right.
I just feel like if you have the athlete, but then you want the athlete to go play for the best school, and that school may be a Catholic school, but now your child is behind academically. So many kids like you just named that we can name or go back and look at or whatever, they get kicked out of these schools only for academic.
Yeah.
But there's tutors and things like that, but sometimes we feel we're looked at as less than for asking for help,
or looked at as like that corny individual that's in school, and that's a whole nother conversation of that's systematically put upon us because of how we was raised and how we are developed is looking at academics. I know, especially in my age or my high school, a lot of people looked at our like if somebody was smart in our class, man, the nerd or what. And in hindsight, as a grown man and somebody who has an entire family, that is the most absurd shit I've ever heard of my life. Literally,
I wish I was that person.
What? That shit is absurd. Why would you ever think that getting good grades is
bad,
not cool? What?
It will always be cool. One of the biggest things I always tell my household, my kids, is grades come first.
100%.
But at the same time, if you need help, just ask.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with just asking for help in life in general, regardless of how old you are.
Right.
And I think that also, like I said, about research for parents. If parents need help, they should just, and everybody, I understand it's not as easy to say I need help. Right?
Yeah.
But if you ask the right person for help and you do your research or whatever, good things will probably happen to you in what you want to happen.
Right.
Somebody may be there to help you.
Right.
I think either way, though, I think the next question or you about to get into before was about Catholic versus private.
Yeah, sorry.
And
crazy. Or Catholic versus public.
I'm sorry.
No, you're right.
And I'm not going to say, because I coach at St. John's, it's the end all be all.
Right.
I don't believe that.
No, I agree.
I think personally, any kid with the right structure can survive anywhere.
Right.
You can be successful no matter what school you go to. We talk a lot about public schools, and most people do compare to Catholic schools. But again, do what works for your household.
Right.
Your household is what's going to matter. But don't be scared to push your son or your daughter to a new level of challenges. Right?
Yeah.
We can't always take the easy path and expect great results.
Right.
You can't cheat corners.
Yeah, for sure.
Hard work going to come in every profession.
Right.
So why not put the hard work in for school and let's just go from there.
Right.
I personally, though, I've been a public kid pretty much my whole life. I can sit back and laugh and say I should have went to this school or that school, or I should have transferred to this school or that school. But I also got to look back and say the person in the mirror, myself, didn't give it its all at the schools that I went to.
Right.
So who can I blame?
Self-awareness.
Right. So that's why I get at, and there will always be a Catholic versus public conversation.
Right.
And I can't say what's best.
Right.
In my opinion, I think Catholic is best early. because it's proven that they're teaching more than public school.
Correct.
But again, like you said, there's more kids in there, there's more issues, and those things we just can't control.
Yeah.
So my best answer, honestly, Catholic versus public, is honestly what fits your household.
Right.
What support do you have? Personally, I feel like it takes a village. So
it's a family structure.
It's a family structure inside your household.
Right.
But then who outside the household is involved? Because every household has somebody involved.
Right.
A
Whether
grandparent,
it be
a coach,
yeah.
an uncle, a family friend. Somebody's always involved. Those are the ones that have to help out and teach the right knowledge.
Right.
And be there genuinely. Not because it's a ticket on that kid's head to go run track or whatever it may be, but just genuinely help that kid out. And stop offering Jordans.
Yeah.
Let's offer tutoring.
Yeah.
Let's offer something else.
That was a bar. Stop offering Jordans, offer tutoring.
Let's offer something way more
to
then help that kid get what he wants.
Right.
And that goes for Catholic or public.
And that
or private versus public.
That leads me to a whole different conversation I just started about talking to you. It's crazy that you say that, because I can look at those Jordans that you was basically dangling in front of that black person. It's the same thing for a white kid going from a public to a Catholic school. Because what I learned is going from Catholic, I've been Catholic my whole life, so, or not the religion, but I went to a Catholic school my entire life. But what I learned is the instead of the Jordans being dangled in front of your face, for people that went from Catholic to Catholic, it's the going from a God bless my parents. I've never been in a place where I got to struggle for food, and if I was in that place, I don't know about it.
Right.
But I've been in a place where I went from going from Rosary Cathedral, going to St. John's Academy, going to Central Catholic. Instead of those Jordans, it's a big house, or it's a buffet of food where it's getting catered at a party, or whatever the materialistic thing is. And I think what happens is black kids get caught up in quote unquote being white.
Yeah.
Now this is a deeper rooted conversation, but on the surface, what happens is black people or black men or women get so fixated on, I have to blend in with these people socially, and then on top of that, I still got to keep up with them academically. And coming from, even if you're coming from a Catholic school, but coming from an inner city, and then having to go to a Catholic school and still have to manifest and manage both of those worlds, it's to a point where you're trying to balance so many things out. You're gonna be it's gonna be mediocrity over all of those places. So I would say for the average person who's going from Catholic to Catholic, or going from public to Catholic, it's a lot of worlds you got to balance out. And I'll be honest, man, I have asking that on some, especially if I had a child, and asking that on my child to balance, it's some shit that I don't know if my kid could probably handle. I don't know if I could have that conversation with him or her, or go, you know what, man, you should probably just stick with Catholic, go Catholic the entire time, or stick with not going to sports or keeping up with academic and sports. It's a lot of variables in all those conversations. So the way that you broke that down was so key, because a lot of people can't handle all of that.
No,
like what you said.
No, and that's why I said do what's best for your household.
Yeah, exactly.
If you understand that your son, maybe tutors and everything, just might not work for him to go to that private school,
right,
then obviously I understand why you may go public.
Right.
But there's also some kids that been in private their whole life and then go to public.
Yep.
But now they're ready to survive.
Exactly.
Now they just have to worry about the culture, the climate. You know, in private schools you're not going to see many fist fights and things of that nature, right? But you may transfer
getting
over,
robbed, getting stuff stolen, all type of stuff.
But doing what's best for your family or for your child at the time, like we said before, sacrifices and things like that.
Right.
But hard work. At the end of the day, it's going to take hard work. It's going to take the person in the mirror to accomplish the goal.
Yep.
And that's my biggest thing, understanding that my path, my thoughts, what may not fit that person.
Exactly.
Right? But I can still help that person no matter which path they take.
Right.
I'm not going to, if you tell me I'm not going to St. John's, I'm going to Rogers or whatever it may be, or I don't know, Florida, whatever school it may be, right? How can I now help that kid?
Yep.
Don't give up on that kid because he didn't, quote unquote, choose what you wanted him to choose.
Or put him in the environment that he was placed in.
Right. always be there to help the kid and be genuine with the kid. And that's where it takes the village. The village is a real big thing. I believe in the village. I think the village saved me. I think my mom did a wonderful job. But at the same time, my mom needed help. Right? The village helped me. And I want to pass down what I know to the next generation. And just go from there.
Great job being put on, for sure. So being a family, man, I think we both got something of that nature in common. We were just talking about it, multitasking. You being a father, husband, coach, trainer, counselor, whatever you want to name, all in one place. What are some habits that you keep intact to stay sane while balancing these roles? Because being a father and a husband alone, forget a coach and forget being a trainer, is probably one of the two irritating, loving, spiteful things you got to go through. Oh my God, it's horrible. But at the same time, it's one of the most rewarding things that you ever can go through, for sure.
Balance for me personally is taking a step back. So when I was young, I was a hothead. But
bro, I got to comment on that because listen, I keep saying this the way you communicate, but I think the way that you I see the growth, bro, it's so crazy because I'm keep in mind, I ain't said too much since you've been talking. I'm literally just observing. Like, DP is really a totally different person. It's insane. Like, yeah, I know the hothead, but I also know like DP being in high school, being junior high, like you were totally different. It's just it's good to see though.
Thank you. But I mean, I gotta take a step back sometimes.
Yeah,
take a deep breath, right? And the biggest thing is understanding what is the obstacle or what is the frustration from. Personally, my biggest outlet is my wife.
Wow.
So we talk about any and everything, good, bad, and ugly,
right? And
then we create the plan from there.
Yep. Is there ever any passionate talks at that time?
Yeah, it's passionate talks. It's talks that you don't want to have. It's all of the above. Right. But at the end of the day, that's what led us to being one. Right. That led us to be a couple, married, and things like that. Personally, I can honestly say, even coaching, like she might not know what a post route is or anything like that. Right. But if I can just come home and just talk to her about the issue and explain it to her and she can listen, that's peace for me right there.
Right.
It's the same with parenting and to be honest, co-parenting, because we don't have, my wife and I got 3 kids. They're not all by her.
Right.
So there's some stuff that may go on that it bothers me. Yeah. Right. As a dad, that's used about parenting. Yeah. But I go to her and like, man, where did I do wrong, or how can I get better? And she can give me her thought process as a woman. That's something we can't understand.
And it's an outside opinion, though. That's one of the most important things.
But it's an honest outside opinion.
Yes, sir.
Because we didn't have some conversations where she didn't tell me some shit that I ain't trying to hear.
Yep. Yes, sir.
But I need to hear that.
Yep.
Because who else gonna tell me?
Yep.
I can't rely on Gaylon to tell me where I'm wrong. That's not Gaylon's job.
Yeah, for sure.
If she love me, I love her. We like we do.
But shit, Paul, you got me fucked up. I ain't gonna tell you when
you gonna tell me when I'm wrong, right? For sure. I love you, but I ain't relying on Gaylon.
No, 100%. Because the ladies, bro, the women's intuition and their thought is so much heavier than anybody else, especially your wife. That's
why she the queen. That's why she the missus.
It's so many things I've ran into. My wife have been like, hey, that ain't right. And 3 minutes later, I'm like, you was right.
It happens.
No, for sure. Yeah.
No, I mean, you got long days. Some days I might be gone for 14 hours.
Yeah.
3 different hats I didn't put on today, right? But I'm gonna do it again. Yeah. Right. And it's understanding the balance. It's good days. Yeah. Bad days. But I honestly can say my wife. Oh my bad. My wife, and then just asking questions.
Right.
Part of the village. Man, that's a good question right there. Yeah. 'Cause like you said, it's so many hats.
Yeah.
But being a parent is the number one priority in my life.
Of all.
It's the number one priority in life. At the end of the day, if my kids ain't doing good, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It affects your entire mood.
It affects everything.
Yeah.
Everything. And if I can't be happy as a person about my home life. It then affects me as a person at my job, as a coach. Now I'm yelling at kids for no reason, or now I'm on one for no reason. Now I can't even teach the next kids. I might have just ruined his day. So it's all in one. Understanding that it's 24 hours in a day. It's 24 hours in a day.
I'm struggling with that every day, bro.
You only got 24.
I know.
And I need to balance them 24. But I need to make sure I'm not stressing for 24 hours. So that's just the biggest thing. I'm young. I'm pushing 30, but I'm young.
No,
you know
man, what? 30 is a new 20, dude. What are you talking about?
But no, I mean, I'm young. I got to understand that sometimes it's more life to live. Everything not going to happen overnight. And that's just the biggest thing right now.
There you go. That boy is talking crazy right now, man. So you got a lot of friends who are fathers, man, and they do a great job. One specifically that I keep thinking about, we were just talking about, is Dino. Even despite his situation that he went through, I've never seen, it was never a time, and DB too, shouts out to DB and Dino, but it was never a time where I questioned their father tactics, duties, or whatever the case may be, and their kids being in a great space. What are some and you don't have to share it if you want to, but what are some conversations or things that you learned from them that you instilled into your father life that you do with Sir, your daughter and whatnot?
Honestly, I mean, Dino, we didn't talk about it. All the young dads, and I'll tell any young dad, I think not so much you know what I'm saying? Obviously, you have a great background, family background, but our generation, a lot of guys grew up just with no dad.
100%.
Right? So now, the people I'm around in my circle, we're trying to be involved as much as possible. Pretty much every dad I know, young dad, their kid can come live with them. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to the mom, right? But the kid can live with that dad. Our biggest thing is, and I can honestly say this, is being there, being consistent.
For sure.
A lot of dads sometimes, for whatever reason, it may be because of a failed relationship or whatever it is, they may not just be consistent. But I'm sure you can attest to it. I can. I think consistency as a kid with who's in your life and what their role is in your life will play a major role.
It's everything, bro.
And I think it would have helped society later on. So personally, I feel like, my kids, Dennis' kids, all those guys out there that I'm around that have kids, I feel like our kids would be, they might not all be millionaires, right? But I think they're being prepared to set up for life. I don't really have, off the top of my head, anything where it's like what we shared,
like defining moments,
right? But it's more of like, I'm gonna let you know I want you to still stay in your kid life regardless, right? Regardless of what's going on, just be there, bro. Just be there. You might be broke, you might be up, but the kid don't care at all.
Exactly. The only thing
your
they see is
don't
the dad.
Care. They just want your dad.
They see the dad. That's it.
The smile you get as a dad is priceless, right? Regardless if I bought some shoes or took you bowling or whatever, the presence of when we see each other, that smile is priceless. So I can never give that up, and I would never tell a dad to give that up. Although, I mean, I'm saying, dads, it gets tough out there, but just keep fighting, be there for your kid, and be consistent.
For sure. That's cool to hear, bro. Now, one thing that I've been on, man, it's a guy named Prince Donnell, man, and he has a wife named Dana Chanel. They have basically a family structure where everybody in their business owns a part. So one of them owns a credit repair business, tax business, app business, and they have a thing where they have like family meetings and phone calls too. One at night, one in the morning. Now, many of the conversations that they have is group economics. So I think one of the biggest things is not even between our families, just black families in general that I see, is a lot of them don't have, I'm not gonna say they don't have conversations enough at all, but they don't have enough conversations about, okay, group economics, this is how we all can play off of each other, and this is how we can leverage each other and take us to the next tier, whatever industry we're in. So if we got Devon, who's a trainer, if Miss Dawn, your mom, get her credit in order or get her finances in order, now that you want to open up that gym, she now can leverage her line of credit off of, or you can leverage her line of credit off of her and go open up that business. Or, one of your friends has $100,000 put up, and now he sees the vision in you, and now you guys can work together as a collective and move on and make sure everybody in your circle, including kids, moves on at the same level.
Yep.
Not Devon goes get a Maserati and Sir only got a Chevy Malibu.
Yep.
No, y'all get a Chevy Malibu at the same time and y'all build your way up at the same time. So my question is, do you ever think about not only those type of conversations, but also do you think about those things when you're actually talking to Sir or even talking to your wife at all?
Yeah, I think now especially, I'm trying to learn myself, read books, research, reach out to you, reach out to somebody else who can give me the knowledge I need to be financially literate. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Understand what I can and can't do. Right. And how I can move with credit or what a down payment may do for me. Yep. It's very, very big in our household. My conversations with Sir are more of just save your money.
That's
not so much.
That's enough.
Right. Not so much. You're gonna own this business or do that. Right. Yeah. But it's just like to save your money.
Levels to it.
Right. Just understanding to get him to start putting money up. Right. And then as I grow, as I get older, as I'm getting educated, and he gets older, now I can then move his savings to where he wants it to go. Right. Right. But he may have the credit line. Yeah, that's a good one because I'm a late bloomer on that.
Bro, there's so many people that's late.
I'm a late bloomer,
including me. Because this is how I look at it. Well, even with you, and another thing is a lot of people, especially me. I mean, I read 100 books a year, bro, and I think that a lot of people our age getting so caught up in is what the media puts on us. So you'll see that CEO who reading 50 books a year, or somebody may cash out on a new business that they have, and we can get so caught up on, not us specifically, but so many people get caught up on, we got to get to that level. And that's so farthest from the truth, because if you think about it, bro, it's so many millionaires, billionaires that ain't touched nothing until they was 50 or 55. So when I hear somebody like you say that, I know you saying that in good spirits, like, no, I got to catch up. But this is genuinely people that's out there that's like, no, I'm fucking up.
I was reading, I think the average millionaire, they say, is what, at 63 years old? Yeah. So 63 is a long way, right?
27,
28.
So it's like, what?
But learning now, you know what I'm saying? You said you reading 100 books a year. Yeah. I ain't read 100 books in my lifetime. Yeah. Right? Yeah. I can be honest and say that, but I'm trying to get better at reading. And getting my... And I understand if I can read a chapter, I can get my son to read a chapter. If I can get my son to read a book early, he's ahead of the game. Yep. And it's really the same question, is just giving him not what I didn't have, but educating him on things I didn't have, on how he can get them. Right. Me not having a 4-wheeler, I don't care if he has a 4-wheeler. Right. I need to get him to understand some other things in life that are more important. And then those things will come later on. The material things will come way later on. But that's something I'm really, really trying to get better at. Is making that not so much financial. I understand debt, I understand credit, right? But the future, the passing it down, and putting the family on, and like you said, maybe if it's my mom has the credit line, but I have the business, we all team up as one. Right. I think sometimes people shy away from that.
Yeah, because it's a especially in the black households, it's something that's just man, me and him, with my brother was having this conversation. A lot of black households move as individuals. When you really think about it, and I can put my family in perspective, and not no, it's not a negative thing. It's one of, like, let's just say that my dad went to go get a gym, or my mom has a daycare, and then I have a credit repair business, and then Tyson, he has his own creative agency. It's nothing wrong with that at all. Like, that's great.
That's a different umbrella.
But when you think about it, is when you leverage money in a sense, and you leverage everybody's finances, that might not add up. No, like you might how the Jews or the Chinese do it. They may start with this one kid, and then after that kid is set up, they're gonna leverage that kid and go into the next one and keep going down the line.
They're just building them up,
exactly,
instead of starting them all at once.
Exactly. So it's not like a necessary bad thing, but it's more of like a lot of, not our family, of course we are definitely well bonded, but a lot of black families have a hard time moving as a team versus being individual. And
it's along the same lines, but it's not. I think as people, it's again what works for your household. Yeah. But I personally feel like we have to get away from when you're 18, you gotta go.
Kim and Kaylin, it's more of like, I see like my mother-in-law's family. We living in, so how we talking about the in-laws and whatnot. We in an apartment and we by ourselves. But what I see is, you see, my sister-in-law. She's 18. She's working at Hooters. So she think that Hooters is the high tier. Which 18, you think your job is that's my career. Yeah. But if you think about and then you think about the 14-year-old. He's in high school. I'm gonna do whatever I want. I just want to mess with girls, whatever. Then you think about the mom who's single that might be doing this and might be doing that, and living her life. But just imagine, bro, if you had a family who all had a morning meeting, a nightly meeting. Y'all know what y'all gotta do throughout the day, and then at the end of the night, y'all come together and go, "Yo, what did you do wrong?
What did you do wrong?
What was the thing?"
But sometimes it's smart as let's just meet on Sundays.
Something as simple as that,
and then let's build it.
That's
right?
it.
Some families
and gradually
make it to maybe we're meeting at once a day or twice a day. Right? Yeah. But the small steps of trying to get better as a family, will then only make your true family, your wealth, the next generation. I believe get stronger. Yeah. But I know it's tough times. Things happen for different families and things like that. But the getting kicked out at 18 thing is tough, man.
I'm over it.
It's tough,
I'm
man.
over it. I'm telling you, when I have my kids, man, I promise you, unless they, this is the rule for me. If you can match what I got, you can move out. Mm-hmm. That's where I'm at.
And that's truly trying to build wealth.
Literally,
that's trying to build wealth.
Literally,
like I mean, for me and Dominique, for me and her have conversations all the time. Yeah. Right. But it's like at 25, right? Maybe we need to think about you going somewhere.
Yeah, of course.
At 25. Yeah. But at 21, I don't want you. You ain't got to go out there and do all that clowning. So, I know you're gonna do some stuff.
But this is my thing. So when you really think about parenting and you think about you being a 21-year-old, what was your parents really hollering about? What, you having sex? Yeah. Like y'all ain't create me and y'all know that this is what happens when you get to
probably already had that talk.
Like, come on. Yeah. When you really think about it, it's minuscule. It's like things that's like, why are we even talking about this? Right. Or I'm making too much noise while y'all trying to go to sleep. I'm a kid. Like, come on. Like, let me just go through. So my whole conversation is, you know that kid is going to do that when you create them. You know that's going to happen. So my thing is, why won't you hold them at least, even if they can't match what you have, but at least hold them down as much as you can and go, all right, go ahead. Now you can do it.
But if I hold them as long as I can, and especially if families can grow to start holding a kid down until they at least graduate what their next step is. Right. So college isn't for everybody.
100%.
Right. So you may be trade school. Yep. You may be going to work at Chrysler. Yeah. I don't know what it's going to be. Right. But if you have an extra 4 years at home to save money to figure out what it is for you, it might just be a year off. Yeah. I graduated high school. Yep. I work at Finish Line. Yep. Got a second little part-time, whatever. Maybe I'm playing basketball in my free time, right? Right. But I'm figuring out who I am and what do I want to do. Exactly. A lot of times we just jump up at 18 and be like, I got to go now. I'm going to go to college. And then I don't even want to go to college.
Systematic, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's systematic.
I don't even know what I want to study.
Yeah.
But now I'm in debt. I'm going from house to house or whatever it may be. But like you said, we gotta get away from it. I can talk about that all day just because you got so many examples. Yeah. And I understand why some parents do. I mean, some kids have to get out at 18.
And I think, and this is something that just came into my head. I think about college athletes. When you think about college athletes, I don't even care if you're blessed to even play a sport. Do you understand that how much as an adult you got to carry on at 18, bro? Yeah. Organizing bills alone. Forget being an actual adult. Organizing bills. You know how overwhelming or how much mental health can be at stake where you may not know how to put that bill on a certain day or me even negotiate with them like, yo, I'm gonna pay this on the 16th. I don't got it right now. Just work with me. A lot of people don't even know how even what them conversations are. So it's crazy to even hear that. Like, especially with you, like, obviously I know you're not struggling at all, whatever the case may be, but like for an average college student who was going to UT right now and got a scholarship but got $5,000 left to pay over and still trying to figure out how they even gonna get their next meal, it's nuts to even think about that. We had to we really had to go through some sort of shit like that, and we like here at this table.
It makes you stronger.
It builds your character.
It builds your character, right?
For sure.
But if I could have For me, I'm not gonna say my mom kicked me out at 18.
No,
I chose a different path. I went to play football, so I was out the house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And Kelly Hughes did not kick me out either.
No. If I wanted, I'm sure if I wanted to stay home and I didn't figure it out, it was my mom was gonna be there to do that for me. Right. But I mean, we all know of people who had to go at 18, and some survive and some don't, or some just survive later in life. Right. Not that my life is better than anybody else's.
100%.
But I think that keeping the kid home. I know my household for sure. 25, we're gonna have a conversation on what we doing at 25 in my household.
What's your goals or what's your path?
Yeah, what's going on, bro? What do you want to do?
Are you milking or are you actually trying to build a plan here?
But
I'm so weak.
But you know what I'm saying? But no, honestly, I mean, and again, it might be a different age later on in the line. Yeah. But I can know right now, me and my wife are at a place where we feel comfortable saying you can stay here at 19, 20, 21, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? And let's make sure you're good before you get thrown out there to the real world. Because once you get out there, it's full of sharks.
Yeah, you better swim. You better swim.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a totally different, deep conversation, man. I'm gonna go from one topic to another. You going to Ohio Northern? We know you're a college athlete. Blah 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 blah. The one topic I want to touch on is I just found that Ohio Northern is a D3 school. I thought it was a D2. One thing I want to touch on is it's a very sensitive topic. I hope people don't come at me crazy when I say this, but the difference between a D3, D2, and D1 school. Now, not necessarily the difference of it, but what I see from the city specifically, please, people, do not kill me, is just facts. What happens is people get caught up on the D1 scholarship. And the D1 scholarship is, I'm going to Wyoming and it's a D1 school. I came from St. Francis. I'm going to Wyoming. Y'all ain't going there. Yeah. But what happens is the one that went to a D1 school doesn't get any tick. Yep. Ends up getting injured. Whatever how life plays it out. Yep. Now, basically, you going to school and now mental health gets in the factor because now you feeling down about yourself. Self-esteem plays a factor. That's a whole different thing. Now, let's go to Devon Price. Went to a D3 school, accelerated, has a beautiful family, graduated from school, and still doing great in his life after all of that. So my question is not specifically what's the difference between those schools, but however, what is your thoughts on a child or a kid coming out of high school going to those schools, and also tell me about the decisions that you made going into choosing between a D3, D2, and D1 school.
Oh well, the big thing that everybody probably knows, or if you may not know, but a D1 and a D2 school can offer you athletic money, meaning University of Toledo offers you an athletic scholarship for X amount of dollars. Right. A D3 school cannot offer you athletic scholarships at all. Right. They can offer you academic scholarships, but it won't be for athletics. Right. Every city will chase a D1 scholarship, and it's only because what we see. Right.
So let me ask you this, and I'm gonna flip right back. I promise you. My question is this: do you love what's going on? I don't know if you've seen the basketball players going
to HBCUs.
I love.
I think it's great.
I love that.
I love it.
Not even specifically because it's black. I specifically love just going the opposite way of going. Let me try this. I know if they see me at a higher tier, and even if I fail here, I'm gonna go. My quality of playing this sport, I know I can bounce back and probably go over here if I wanted to. Yeah, that's the only thing I love about it.
I think HBCUs is a great choice. Coming out of school, I wish I knew about some HBCUs. I personally didn't.
Really?
No, not really. Not as much as, again, you don't see them on football. You don't see them on ESPN. Yeah. You got your Grambling and it's not Jackson State, but Grambling and
I'm trying to think of the other one.
But they have their big game every year,
HBCUs, right?
So you might get a HBC, especially when we was coming up in school. Right. I don't remember really watching a lot of HBCU.
I could probably count on my hand in the ones that I did watch. Yeah.
But you can turn on Saturday all day and watch all these other schools. That's why a kid will forever chase a D1 scholarship. Because of what they can offer. You walk into Ohio State locker room, LSU, Wyoming, whatever it is, it's not even close It's almost like living in, you know what I'm saying, the suburbs compared to living in Section 8.
Yeah, right? Seriously.
You know what I'm saying? When you go from D1 down only to D3. That's the comparison. Right. Living in a suburb, whatever city you choose.
Damn, that's a hell of an analogy, dude.
Going down to Section 8. Yeah. And I say that, no disrespect to no school. I played D3.
Right.
But I did a year at Toledo.
Yeah.
So I understand the differences.
For sure.
Facilities, weight room, the gear, the resources. Travel. Everything is way different, right? I guess go back to parents, the kid. Where do I fit?
Yep.
Right? Am I a D1 player?
Yep.
Every parent's going to think that.
Yep.
But at some point I have to realize it's not the truth.
Yeah.
It's nothing wrong with none of the avenues that you choose, right? Choose what best fits you.
Right.
If you love the game, for me personally, I loved football. In my mind, when I was, let's just say, growing up playing football, I was going to the NFL.
Right.
It didn't matter what school I was going to go to. I was going to get to the NFL.
Right.
God willingly, I was able to have those opportunities at a smaller school to then still accomplish and chase my dream.
Right.
Everybody may not get that.
Right.
But it's the same thing as I'm going D1. I want to go D1 because the chances are better. Put it like this. If I would have had a pro day, right? And a pro day, for people that don't know, is when the NFL teams come watch you basically do with the combine. It's the same thing, just not on TV.
Right.
You can't, I couldn't even have that at my own school. Because I was the only NFL caliber player, technically, I guess what they would assume, at my school.
That's insane.
So I had to go do mine at BG.
Did that affect you at all when you did that?
I knew the game. I understood that.
Gotcha.
I knew that before. It wasn't like I was like thinking I'm the man and they told me I gotta go to BG. I knew before I even was breaking records that I was going to go somewhere to do a pro day.
Talk your shit. Breaking records and shit.
Nah. But I mean, there's people at my school that, I mean, we had some people from my college. It's a small school, but we got you know, Jason Tresnick, shout out to him. We had the same agent coincidentally, but he played 11 years from a D3 school. And he was a captain of the Dolphins and things like that off of just special teams.
Which is nuts.
But that's what happened.
Yeah.
Right? Guys, they're all getting paid the same.
Yeah.
Right? At some point.
Yeah.
But choosing a D1 school is great. Right. That should be the goal. I want to go D1 or HBCU. Right. That's a great goal. But then at some point that dwindles. Yeah, and you start seeing that you're better than me.
Yep.
So you're going to Ohio State. Ohio State ain't talked to Devon. Yeah. So why am I going to still say I'm going D1?
Exactly.
Maybe I need to go focus on Finley.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to go focus on a JUCO, right? A junior college.
Yes, sir. Shouts out to DP, who did great things coming out.
Went way out to Utah.
Yes.
Right? Nobody knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
But he had a goal, he had a mindset, and he went to a JUCO, prepared him, he did his thing. He had a full ride to go to Iowa.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
So nobody's path is the same.
Yeah.
But at the same time, don't chase a D1 when you can go maybe to a smaller D1 or a D2 and be the man.
And sharpen your craft while you're doing it, and then maybe go into that.
And maybe if you need to, you can transfer.
That's always...
You can transfer.
Dude, I'm telling you, literally, that was always a thought in my head where I was like, yo, you know that you can transfer to a different school.
You can. Yeah. And it's just pros and cons with life.
Yeah, right.
But, I mean, you can look at... And I don't know him personally. I met him training for my pro day. His name is... I forgot his first name. But his name is like Dieter.
Okay.
But long story short, he was the man at BG. He sacrificed his senior year to go play at Alabama because he wanted to make it to the league. That's and then he ended up playing 2 years like practice squad or whatever he was doing. But he played for the Chiefs, so he just won a Super Bowl technically.
Wow.
Right. But he transferred to Bama, a higher school, to show he could do these types of things
and can keep up with the high caliber.
Exactly. Playing at a smaller school as in BG, right. Which is bigger than my school, but it's not as big as Alabama.
Yeah. I don't think it's a lot of schools as big as Alabama.
Right. Especially coming to football. You got Ohio State, you got a couple of them, right? But just understanding that just because you might go somewhere doesn't mean I need to go there.
Right.
Just because Ohio State offered me doesn't mean I need to commit to Ohio State.
Right.
Maybe going to your backyard might be the one for you.
Man.
Because put it like this, and I believe this for high school. Today's game, you can go to any school you want to. If you have the grades out of high school, they'll find you.
Yep.
If you go to any school in college, they'll find you.
Right.
The pros will.
Yeah.
There's scouts everywhere.
Yeah.
They're getting paid top dollar to find you.
Right.
Your coach, they'll send the film out. You put the work in, you grind, you do what you're supposed to do, regardless of what level. D1, D2, D3, JUCO, or even high school.
Right.
It doesn't matter. You put the work in, there's people that's getting paid to find you.
Yeah, it's gonna show.
Yeah, it's gonna show. I would love to say I went D1. I would love to say I had records at D1, right? But that's not my life. That wasn't my story.
Right.
I know some people that went D2. I played against somebody in D3. I played against a couple people that's in the NFL from a D3 school. The biggest thing I tell athletes all the time is don't get discouraged. Yeah. Never get discouraged. Right. And then the recruiting game is so nasty.
Which I've heard. I've heard a couple stories. It's kind of low-key sick what I've heard.
I mean, if you just look at all the scandals that's going on. Hello. You know what I'm saying? Zion, quote-unquote, alleged $400,000, right? But then I look at that too. I'm a big, some old school people. I'm not mad at them. They all got their own opinion. My opinion is Zion took $400,000, supposedly, right? Yeah. Zion probably gave them $4 million.
So I'm not even gonna go there.
So more of the story is I think that all those allegations or whatever, athletes deserve to be paid. Yeah. And again,
especially somebody is such high tier. Like, what are you talking about? I'm bringing you in.
But this is just the reality of the game, right? I will say, I've done reports and all those the research. Athletes deserve to be paid, right? I can fully say that, knowing that if athletes would have been paid when I was playing, I wouldn't have got $1.
Now, why is that though?
I played D3.
Oh, okay,
how can you pay me, right?
Yeah,
but you couldn't give me athletic money.
Gotcha.
But again, our revenue is smaller, our fans is smaller, so how can some schools don't have the budget, and that's the biggest reason they won't do it. Which is now why they agreed for, I believe, 2021 you can get the likeliness, right?
Which I saw.
We should have been there then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What
are we doing?
No, for real.
What are we doing? You're gonna make your money regardless. Why is me making 10, 5,000, 10,000, 50,000? It shouldn't bother you.
Yeah,
because I'm gonna give you that in 2 minutes.
Literally.
You know what I'm saying?
Off this play that I'm about to make in that.
But back to it though, D1, D2, D3. Personally, there is no right answer.
Right.
And I say that because everybody is different. What you do though will determine that. Hello. Especially in basketball and football.
Yeah.
If you're not in the summer getting active in AAU or going to camps or nothing like that.
Yeah.
And I hate to say this, but if you're not going to camps, right? But you in the season you got 15 touchdowns, you might not even get a scholarship.
Do you? So when I was about to ask you that question, what do you think that camps, how they were? I won't even say. Let's just say camps. Your senior year of high school, are they as extreme for basing, or how recruiters base it as they did in high school for you?
No,
I think it's
a different ball game.
I agree.
And no disrespect to no parent or no coach. Yeah, that's why I said the game is changing.
Yeah,
There's 7-on-7 guys like we talked about off the camera. You know, down south and out in the west, they playing football year round.
Right.
So they got travel 7-on-7 teams. Some colleges will host a 7-on-7.
Right.
So they technically can't offer you during a certain time period.
Right.
But they've already seen you play.
Right.
Right.
So you know what you're made of at that point.
Right. But the camps now, you can go out there and just run fast. I mean, you might go out there, you might get a kid that run a 4.4 at 15.
Yeah.
They don't offer him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But when I was just playing in school, it was more of they was gonna come to your game.
Yeah.
Now you still had some guys that was getting offered from camps and summer work, but the number was way lower.
Right.
Nowadays, almost every summer and every spring, all you see is offers getting coming nonstop because of the camps. I can say there's not a lot of. There is not every game though. Recruiters come, but it's not as much anymore.
Right.
Because of the access of technology.
Yeah. It's so basically they can watch behind the screen and be like, okay, I see this, I see that.
It's something called huddle.
Yeah.
Right. Almost every program down to 3rd and 4th grade. I know some 3rd and 4th graders that have this program.
Wow.
But a college recruiter at, I don't know, California can just type in your name and everything pops up. Everything. So there's no need for me to catch that flight way over here.
Right.
I'm just gonna look at you. Yeah, I'm just gonna look at you online. If I like you, or you got potential, then I might say, hey, come to my camp, do good, and I'm gonna offer you. And that's kind of where we're at right now.
Talk That Talk podcast. Devon Price. Lord have mercy. Did not think of that much, man. Sports is changing too much for me, man.
Yeah, it's changing.
So the highly, I think this is gonna be my favorite question out of all of them because this is just something I always thought about. The top wide receivers out of Toledo, in my generation. Please, people, do not kill me. I think my favorite top 5 out of receivers is gonna be Nate Hobbs, Damon Powell, Chris Jones, Devon Price, and don't kill me for this pronunciation, Dane Sassenbacher. Out of section. all 5 of y'all have something similar, man. Y'all really love the game. Y'all all was passionate. I think out of the 5 that I just named, I think you were with. Oh no, not Dane, right?
No, Dane was a little older. Dane, yeah, I want to say Dane was a senior when I was a freshman. Yep. So I got to see him play.
Right, same here. I think so if you were a senior, that means I was a 7th grade, 6th grade. Yeah, 7th or 6th grade. Mm-hmm. But I seen him one game, and bro, he did he was in the slot, and he did a slant from the he did a slant, and when he came across, bro, he caught it like this. But what he did was, when he caught it, he swept back to the left hand side down the sideline.
Just took off.
Yo, I'll tell you something. Nothing against white guys. Let me tell you something.
He was a bad white boy.
I've never seen any white guy with the speed that he had.
That Dane had.
Bro, he had a different level he can tap into, to where if he gets you on that shivel or that plant and he gets you, it's over with.
And I'm gonna tell you, we can stay on the same topic, but one step further, right?
Yeah,
I agree. I've watched my freshman year. Dane, they came to start high school and played. I think Dane scored like 3 times, like easy, right? Went to Ohio State, had a great career.
Was that a scrimmage that he? No,
this is a real game.
Oh, game.
He dogged us.
Okay.
Yeah, he dogged us.
I'm weak.
I was in the stands like, dang.
Yeah.
But no, so Dane was fast, right?
Yeah.
I want to say he made it to states also for track.
Yeah.
400. Great guy. But in the league, Dane was considered slow.
Yeah.
Right. That's just the next level tier of what we've been talking about all day, right?
Yeah.
Gotta understand, we've had a lot of great people from this city.
Yeah.
But you gotta think about it, there's even more.
Right.
That's why the percentage of going is 1.2% of people make it to the next level.
Yeah.
But the topic, great receivers.
Yeah.
And most of those guys I know all of them. Grew up with them, played with them. Mm-hmm. Nate was my roommate my first year in college at Toledo. Nate's my boy. And then DP.
Yeah.
It's always been the battle of the DPs. If you was from Rogers,
bro, you know what's crazy? When you was just talking like that, when I said DP, I wasn't even thinking of that. I was like, bro, wait.
Yeah. But people don't know, like, me and DP go way back.
Yeah.
Like, I used to run around, stay at Damon House and all types of stuff like that. So, never no beef, never no issue.
Yeah,
always encouraging.
Love, man.
But I would tell somebody in a heartbeat, Damon is blazing. Like, Damon is fast. Now, if we want to go put your foot in the ground, 1-2, make somebody miss, I might got Damon.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's my boy. Damon was his speed was almost like, I'm gonna be funny here, but it's almost like crackhead speed.
No, 100%. I thought that even in basketball.
Yeah, like,
bro, he would hit the same crossover move, but that shit was so fast.
He's gonna get to the bucket,
it's a
and he might punch on you.
You know, fast. Surprisingly too.
Some guys, and you might not remember them, but you got like Fred Davis.
Yeah, no, 100% tight end out of USC.
Yeah, Fred was nasty.
Yeah.
Guys that were good though, receivers. I like
Nate Washington went out of Scott too.
You got Nate. Nate's way older than me.
Yeah,
funny story is, I mean, I looked up to Nate.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, when I was the ball boy for them way back in the day at Scott.
Really?
Yeah, I used to walk around saying I was going to Scott.
Wow.
Yeah, all the time.
Was this Scott Libby days?
Scott Libby days.
For sure.
So all those older guys from Scott, and I know all of them. I mean, when Nate was playing for Pittsburgh, he'd come back and get me.
Wow.
Nate's a real good dude. In small world, that's Damon's like God.
Yeah,
dad or something, God brother, something like that. You know what I'm saying? So small world, you know. And honestly, if I'm talking about this big picture, Toledo got to push Toledo more. For so many years, we push each other down.
Yeah.
Right. Same way as it was always a battle versus DP.
Yeah.
But there was never a battle of DP versus DP between us.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Why couldn't he just be good at what he do, and I be good at what I do, and we both just take off?
Toledo mindset, unfortunately.
And that's what I want to get out of as I'm coaching. Right? I think that the City League coaches are doing good. There's a lot of young African American coaches in our City League right now.
Right.
I think that's good because all those guys got camaraderie. They all kick it and chill, and they understand that they're coaching against each other. Right.
Yep.
But at the same time, they want to see each other build.
Yep.
There's some coaches, some young coaches, both on basketball and football. I love what I'm seeing between coaches getting together and going to coaching clinics or driving together to go support another coach.
Yep.
It's only going to make the kids push each other more.
Yeah.
But at the same time, understand we from the same city.
That's all that matters at the
People
end of the
probably
day.
don't understand this in those, and this is not about bragging or nothing like that, but those that have reached higher levels can attest to this. But if you ever go out of town, like especially like the 305 area, Dade County, all that, and Broward County, and all those, they love each other.
Yeah.
Like they love each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
But Toledo
Crazy
mindset, right? They be ready
they
to damn near
crazy
kill
as
each
hell.
other.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? But they don't understand that when you leave here, we all you got.
Yeah, 100%.
And on top of that, when you leave here, 9 times out of 10, most people that really travel, and they say, where you from? You say Toledo, they be like, what's that?
They don't even know what it is.
You have to say, I'm by Detroit.
Yeah.
No, I'm not in Columbus.
Or Columbus.
No, I'm 2 hours from Columbus, right? They have no really idea who we are.
For real.
You got people putting on. You got Eric. You got Nate. You got like EK. I'm talking about, right? You got
Dub.
You got a lot of people putting on.
Yeah.
And then people can tell you even more. But they almost out there on an island. They're out there by themselves. You know what I'm saying? Now just imagine if we can keep building the culture up, keep building the youth up.
Yep.
To where we're grinding together.
Right.
It's a little bit off topic, but the same thing is.
No, of course.
When I was in school, you couldn't come back and really work out with nobody from the city.
Hell no, dude.
Like if you even look around right now, who from the city that's playing, right?
Yeah.
Works out with each other.
No, I can't think of one person.
That's what I'm saying. Like I worked out with. Which is
low key. It's like when you really think about it, man. If you trying to operate from a national level, what's the point of holding game? My whole thing is why at this age, knowledge is everywhere. Why do you hold any type of knowledge from anybody? Is what I can't fathom. I can't understand.
I don't understand holding the knowledge, and I will never understand people giving false knowledge or lying.
For sure,
right?
For sure.
But that's a different topic. But as far as the receivers, I mean, I like your list. I'd have to think about it, man. I'm almost gonna go back and go on YouTube and look up some people that I was really watching.
Bro, it's literally one person that, and I'm being biased obviously because it's my cousin. But I watched Black, man, Chris Jones, man. I watched the play. I forgot who he was playing, bro, but I forgot how fast that motherfucker was, man. And when you really think about just speed, like just stupid speed. Like,
it's some people that didn't have that.
Yeah, for real.
And I think with elite, especially, what we trying to do is keep it going. Yeah, right. Keep it going, getting guys going. Black was probably the best, right? Let's say he's the best. Yeah. But there's somebody else in the city that was good with him. 100%. There's no reason on why them two, they can hate each other on the field, but love each other off the field. Exactly. To get better outside of Toledo. 100%. Toledo was so small, man, that we got to get better as a city, as keeping those that have the path away from the bad stuff. Yep. Right? And making sure those that are leaving, especially with social media now and all that other stuff, get in touch with each other, man. Yeah. Hit each other up. Yeah. Talk about your adversity. Talk about your struggles. How can we help each other? Go back to your school and you ain't gotta be the big speech guy. Everybody's not a big speech guy. 100%. Right? Or but can communicate the best. But maybe just talk to a kid one-on-one. Or talk to the coach on what you did or didn't do that could help. And then it'll make this city much better. Oh, much better. And collaborative efforts. And we'll have more people that are the best of the best. Right. Yeah. I hope every kid under me breaks everything that I've done. And that's what I hope everybody is hoping for when they get done playing the sport. Right. Whether it's your kid or the next generation, just keep it going. Keep the sport going. Keep
making the culture better and making sure you extending the playing field or whatever the case may be.
And if you want to leave Toledo, that's fine. Yeah. Toledo ain't the best for everybody. Yeah. But don't be so scared to pass the knowledge down to the people here.
And that don't have it.
Yeah, because a lot that don't have it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I wish I could have came back and asked some questions to some people that was already accomplishing what I was trying to accomplish. Right. So now I would never turn the kid away. Yeah. Right. If they got a question, well, I don't ask it. Right. Let's get to the bottom of it. How can I help you? And it'll bring more better players. More of the story.
So idols that you look up to. One of the people I thought about when I seen Sir. And DP ain't gonna say this on camera. But this fucker Sir looks so he looks so well grounded and so well educated in the sport, and you telling me that he don't even, like, you barely train him. No. That's a scary sight. So I bring that all around to say somebody that I look in those eyes as far as a father and a kid figure is Deion Sanders. Now I follow him on Instagram.
Yeah.
I done read a couple of his or seen a couple of his interviews and whatnot. And what I seen from his kids is, we were talking about this earlier, how they all got their different paths, but they all won.
Yep.
Do you see any similarities in what he does with his children? And then also, who are some idols that you looked up to, even if it's from a training, coaching, or just father figure in general, as far as at that stature?
As far as Deion, as a player, I followed him. Obviously, Deion was the man. You know what I'm saying? In his time, I was younger, but I mean, I watch Deion highlights to this day. But I've watched him more as a father, as a coach.
That's huge.
How he keeps his household, right? I'm real big on that, and I think he has the game plan for it.
Right.
His son, obviously, he just committed to FAU,
which I saw. That was just dope.
Yeah, that was dope. Yeah. Extremely. So obviously, he's doing it the right way for his household.
Yeah.
As far as me and Sir, like I said before, I don't really train him a lot.
I still, bro. You keep saying that.
No, I mean, either on camera, off camera, ask the people closest to him, and they'll tell you like.
And no, it ain't like. And I hope it's not coming off in this.
No, it's not at all. Okay. No, not at all. Because I genuinely, it's just like, if he got it, he got it, right? And if he don't, I want to help him get there,
right?
As far as idols looking up, I really only had two, man, and I got the chance to work out with one. And I guess looking back now, I guess I can say that moment, right, with working out. And my two is Floyd Mayweather and Ocho Cinco.
Wait, which ones you got to work out with?
I got to work out with Ocho. And I didn't know. Now,
is this Ocho with the blonde mohawk and goals, or is this Ocho?
Every character he showed you. I think what Ocho brought to the game is what I felt like I was trying to bring to the game. So Ocho didn't lift weights.
Yeah.
Athletes, you need to lift weights.
Right.
I didn't. Yeah. I should have. I maybe could have done something better. If I had better grades, me lift weights, I could have done. Maybe I would have been on an NFL roster officially. Right. But Ocho wasn't a big lifting guy. He used to talk a little bit of trash, but he has sweet feet and he can catch the ball.
His feet is.
He was gonna route your ass up.
Every time.
And he was gonna let you know about it.
Yep.
Right. Then you look at Floyd Mayweather. Say what you want to. People can't touch him.
There you go.
Can't touch him, right? If you ever, when I say Floyd Mayweather, I'm not a boxer. Right. I'm not here to train for. If you ever watch Floyd train, if you ever watch Ocho train, go on YouTube one day and just look their training videos. What they did, and I tried to emulate what they were trying to do. Right. From his hard work of sit-ups, right? Sit-ups and push-ups. Right. Ocho running routes and working on his feet, working on his hands, hand-eye coordination. All those things I feel like inspired me. Another person I feel like my game emulated him a lot is Tavon Austin.
I would have never expected that one.
I think Tavon probably, in my opinion, probably has one of the nastiest college highlight tapes ever.
100%.
Especially his high school highlight tape was crazy.
Ridiculous.
Working out with Ocho though was, funny story. I went to train on my own, spring break, college, 2015. I didn't want to kick it no more. I was going into my senior year, talk to my family, the village, right? I went out and trained in Florida. Actually, the same place that Cheatham went and trained. It's called Fit Speed.
Gotcha.
I only found this place only because of Chad Johnson. Wow. Social media. I was just like, man, where is he at?
Yep.
Figured it out, worked it out. He was training there for 2-3 years. They had speed treadmills. They had all that stuff. I ended up getting down there, and I ended up working out with their combine group for that year.
Wow.
So I ended up working out with I did 2 sessions a day, worked out like for 8 days. I did a group with the combine group. Some of those guys are still in the league now. I worked out with the NFL group. And one day, Ocho just walked in. Genuine, real. You could, gave us some of the realest conversations.
Yep.
Always had McDonald's, like he say. He walked in with McDonald's.
It's hilarious. He's serious.
He dead serious. He walked in with a soccer ball and McDonald's pancakes.
That's crazy.
And he would get done. We ran 23 miles per hour, right? He got done and started playing with a soccer ball. Let me know when I'm up next. Just talking Mets, playing a soccer ball. But definitely Ocho, man. I feel like, again, I think that Jerry Rice and Randy Moss are two of the best receivers to ever play. But my favorite receiver is Chad Johnson.
That's crazy.
Floyd, his work was just crazy.
Yeah,
he put in so much work,
and how effortlessly they both do. Especially Floyd, like if you really watch, I think it was a Manny Pacquiao fight, one of them that he had, and like how he just run like.
He can control everything.
And not only that, man, when you know how working out really is and training how really it is, and you see like the faces of people, I'm real detailed, so I watch the stupid stuff. Like I see how Floyd's mouth is like he not really breathing, he just sitting there doing this, and it's like, bro, you're not tired. Like you literally just this is like so effortless.
That's the next level of it, right?
Yeah,
so if you pay attention to like most professionals, they know the situation,
right?
They know the clock,
yep.
They know what's going on.
Yep.
Like most people say, like Floyd, they call it running, right? But they say if you pay attention, Floyd's peeking up at the clock to see how much time left is in the round,
right?
And then he knows when he has to fight again.
Yep,
it's the same thing. It's just understanding the game,
right? That's
the next level. That's the film. That's the study of it. And those are the kind of people I looked up to and studied on how they got to where they got to, right. And how can I put it all in for me?
Sheesh. My last question would be. It's more of I guess it's a controversial thing. We were talking about marriage and whatever the case may be. I wanted to talk about basically how Americanized a lot of holidays are. How Americanized holidays are to where we put a lot of consumerism into holidays to where it fluctuates, or it dilutes. What the actual day is for. So, for example, we was talking about weddings and how somebody can blow a quick 50 or 60 on a wedding, and they might still be $35,000, $40,000 in debt. But since America or
somebody made them think that's what they're supposed to do,
that they follow suit.
Yeah.
So I asked that to say, have you ever been conflicted while celebrating those type of holidays, or teaching your children about the real meanings behind them holidays?
Right now I'm just trying to let them be a kid.
Gotcha.
I think at a point in time I have to have a conversation about some things, especially with what's going on right now.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, the world right now is flipped upside down, you can almost call it, between the pandemic and between the racial things we got going on, along with the holidays. Right. You look at a big holiday was Juneteenth. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
People want that to be a national holiday and want that to be explained on what it's really for, opposed to 4th of July, maybe.
Right.
But right now, and maybe I should. Maybe that's a step I'm missing as a parent, but that's not a big one. I get into it with my kids.
Right.
Christmas, I guess I struggle with the whole Santa thing. Because Santa ain't bought a gift. I bought these gifts.
Do you understand that Santa ain't put $1 on these gifts? Motherfucker.
But no, man, you know, I kind of, for certain stuff like that, I kind of like how my mom did it.
Yeah, for sure.
Let you be a kid, and then when it's the right time, you had a conversation. Yep. And then it gives you a better explanation.
Right.
I think sometimes as a dad, me personally, I do a lot of preaching.
Yep.
And I want to make sure he's ready for everything. So it's something I just let him be a kid. Yep. If it's 4th of July and you want to do some fireworks, go ahead. Yep. If it's Christmas for you and you want whatever it is, let's make sure everything else is in line. But let's just celebrate that. Right. And later on in life, we'll have those conversations.
Of course.
But right now, personally, man, I don't even really get into it. And maybe I need to think about doing that and getting them to understand how their mind may need to work for certain holidays. Right. But we haven't really touched on nothing big yet. Right. He really ain't asked me about Santa. Yeah. He got some older siblings, or I shouldn't say siblings, he doesn't. He's the oldest. He's the oldest.
No, I know what you meant, though.
But cousins and families and aunts that tell him, because they already know there is no Santa Claus, or there is no Easter Bunny. Right. But he hasn't really asked me, hey, Dad, is there a Santa? There'll be gifts there for you. Right. And leave it at that.
Yep. And that's all they care about at the end of the day.
That's all they really care about.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you're going to go probably pay $200, $300, $400 for this gift, and really all they want is one little old thing.
And then going to put the rest of them
in the basement. Yeah, so I'm not even really big on buying a whole bunch of gifts anyway.
Oh, I get it up. I get it up 3 years ago. I bought my son, a stepson, I should say, probably.
No, that's your son. Yeah, you married. Yeah.
We went, it's 2020, 2017. That was the second year I was with his mom. We went to go to Walmart. We spent probably $1,900, and bro, I'll never forget this. He got one gift. It was a fucking Batman. It was a Batman toy.
Probably was the cheapest gift you bought.
Batman toy, but on top of that, the second gift was the actual Batmobile.
Okay.
So it was like two total separate things, but it was really one toy because the Batman could fit in it.
Okay.
Shit cost us $35. The rest of it, I kid you not, he did not touch until it was at least September, October, and he touched 5 or 6 gifts. After that year, I literally told him
it's a
November probably November. Yeah, November, Thanksgiving. I said, "Yo, listen here. You give me 5 gifts that you want, I'll pay whatever you want." But we not getting 30 gifts no more.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Yeah.
Because the thing about it is, we move. Not only move, but on top of that, I got to keep up with this stuff. And then you tell me, no, I want this. Now I got to move all of this stuff out. It's just a never-ending
headache.
That
you gave yourself.
That's literally. I'm gonna be selfish as a parent at this time. I put my hard earned thought. Forget money.
For me,
thought,
what it was,
like,
I just had to look back at the toy box like, wait a minute. This is getting fuller and fuller, and you ain't touching none of it.
None of it.
Yeah, so
man,
it probably was about 2-3 years ago. You know? Yeah. So now it's what shoe do you want? A couple clothes, literally. What toy or whatever you want.
And the good thing about my son is, man, that boy doesn't care about materialistic. That's one thing I am blessed for, that he don't care about nothing materialistic. He literally just want to be a kid, toys. Let me roll around in the dirt. I don't care about clothes. Yeah. Let me just get a white t-shirt and some shorts.
That's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
That's cool.
I'm good.
That's good, man.
Now what I will say that I said that was gonna be my last question, but it's something that I just thought about with Sir. Sir he's one of those kids where it seems like it's gonna be hard to tell him no.
Yeah, he's spoiled.
In certain aspects.
Yeah.
Not even from a materialistic standpoint, but just how hard that he worked. What do you think is gonna be your biggest conversation or no that you're gonna tell him that might be that first fight between y'all two? Especially with him being your son. I got an idea. I just want to hear from your mouth.
Will be the first thing that give me a headache?
Give you a headache or a conversation that you know is y'all two gonna bump heads? Outside of football, too. Don't name football. That's cheating.
Probably women. If I'm being honest, bro,
and knowing me,
probably women.
For goodness, that's the first thing I thought about.
Probably women.
Yeah.
But it's funny that you say that, because it's kind of like I'm preparing for that moment. Like me and my wife already talked about that. Like, what are we gonna do when it's time for that? When it's time for high school, or being honest, it might be time for some condoms or whatever it may be. Right? Yeah, them conversations gonna get frustrating. Them gonna be frustrating conversations, especially if he want to be the little man, the little pretty boy, whatever he gonna do.
Right.
Yeah, them gonna be some frustrating conversations.
Yep. And then on top of that, you gotta think about it, as you being a dad, you like, fuck, I was him.
Yeah, I was him, but I don't want you to be me.
No, out of all the strength of my life, bro. Please don't be him, man. You know, he was not a good person.
No, don't worry. Just do opposite of that. Let's go from there. Let's start there. I mean, but then I look at that as the same way. Like, I gotta make sure not only does he understand that, but like my nephews understand that.
That's dope.
Like making sure I still talk to Little Parish and making sure I'm talking to Lil DJ when I see him and stuff like that. It's making sure if I'm passing it down to my son, I'm passing it down to people I call my nephews and my family.
That's dope.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, sure. DP, do you have any other last remarks or anything that you want to get off to the podcast, or anything that they should look for coming forward in 2020?
Definitely. Facebook, get with us, Elite Athletics Academy. You can just search the name of it on Facebook.
Hello.
Same thing on Instagram.
Yep.
Myself, if you want to see what I'm doing personally, if you want to see the family, if you want to see what training I'm doing, Devon, Devon Price _ that's on all social medias. Yep. Lastly, man, thanks for having me here. It's been fun, man.
This shit was fun.
We had to reschedule like 3 times.
Yeah, I know.
Things happen, but we here.
Busy,
it was fun, man.
That's all you, just being busy.
No,
man.
no.
You know what that
the
means?
One time it was Tyson. He had company.
Yeah, that's all it is. Yeah, you gotta have friends over and whatnot.
You would have friends that day. Yeah.
That's what someone said.
But no, though, it's been fun, man. Thank you.
For sure.
Thanks for hospitality.
No, bro, for sure. Your family, so you know how that go. Man, listen. It's been another great episode of the Talk That Talk podcast. If you came here to look for financial literacy, you came to the right place. If you came here for career development, you came to the right place. If you came here for professional development, you came here for the right place. I am Gaylon Hughes Jr., your host, and I'll see you next time.